Hello, I'm Matt Utterback, Superintendent of the North Clackamas School District. I want to thank you for joining me as I share with you an informational presentation on our 2018 local option levy. As I get started, I'd like just to remind you of some of the characteristics of our school district. This fall, we opened up with slightly over 17,000 students in over 32 schools, including communities and schools in Milwaukee, Oak Grove, Happy Valley, and Clackamas. And the majority of our school district is actually in unincorporated Clackamas County. We're a fairly large school district with over 40 square miles within the school district. There's been a lot of success in the North Clackamas School District in the last couple of years, and I'm going to highlight a few of those for you today. Our attendance rates are the highest of the 15 largest school districts in Oregon. It's something that we're proud of. Our graduation rates are also at an all-time high in the school district, up 18% in the last 6 years. But what we're especially proud of is eliminating the graduation gap for our students of color in the North Clackamas School District. And student achievement results consistently outpace the state average in both math and language arts. But given these successes, we still face some challenges, and those challenges are primarily financial. The state of Oregon is not providing state funding for our school district in order for us to maintain our day-to-day operations moving forward. And we anticipate that by the start of the 2019-2020 school year that we're projected to face a $17 million shortfall. This is not a surprise to us as leaders in the North Clackamas School District, and we've been preparing for this for quite some time. Those preparations include the elimination of 4 student contact days this year. They include using more than half of our emergency funds over the course of the last couple of years to a place in which our emergency reserves now are at the minimum of 5%. And we've delayed the purchase of technology and curriculum materials really over the course of the last decade. In addition to that, we do not have the counseling services that we'd like to have in our schools. We have many elementary schools, 6 in fact, that only have half-time counseling services. We have middle school and high school caseloads for our counselors of over 500 students, and that is nearly double the national accreditation recommendations. We've reduced professional development time for our staff. We've reduced building maintenance. We've closed schools and sold surplus property. We've reduced pay for staff through these furlough days and delaying cost of living adjustments. And we rely heavily on volunteers, which we're grateful for. And as you can see, our volunteers are the equivalent to 88 full-time employees each year in the school district. A little bit about the funding history in Oregon. The state of Oregon provides most of the funding for our day-to-day operations as a school district. And what we know is that since 2003-2005, the percentage of the state budget that goes to K-12 education has been declining. Back in 2003-2005, K-12 education made up about 45% of the state budget. Today, in our current biennium, that rate has been reduced to 39%. And while that 6% gap may not seem like a significant drop, a 6% drop in a state budget of $18 to $20 billion is equivalent to about $14 million a year for the North Clackamas School District. You couple the fact that the state has been giving us a less amount of the state budget, and you overlay that then with the recession that happened between 2008 and 2013, and it has further impacted the financial resources available to our school district. During that recession of the 2008 to 2013, as a school district, we eliminated nearly 225 teaching positions. And at one point during that recession, in one school year, we eliminated 14 days. And we have not fully recovered from those reductions. We've been able to restore in the last 3 or 4 years 185 of those teaching positions, and as I referenced earlier, we still have 4 furlough days this school year. So in response to declining state resources as a percentage of the state budget and the impact of the recession, our school district over the course of the last decade has seen the reduction of 46 days of school, The closing of 3 elementary schools. We've eliminated administrator positions. We've reduced school counselors. We've cut college and career assistants at the high school level. We've cut funding to high school sports. And we've eliminated some career and technical programs at our Sabin-Schellenberg Professional Technical Center. There is one option that the state gives school districts to provide additional resources, and that is this idea of a local option. Local option was made available to school districts at the turn of the century, and since that time period, 19 school communities in Oregon have taken advantage of a local option levy. Those include communities like Beaverton and Tiger-Tualatin, West Lynn, and Lake Oswego. And so given our financial history over the course of the last decade, as well as a situation in which we're unable to maintain our day-to-day operations moving forward, our school board this past spring started studying and examining whether or not we should consider putting a local option levy on the November 2018 ballot. And in August, our school board did take that action. So how does this local option levy work? A local option levy is an additional property tax levy on any property in the North Clackamas School District. It requires voter approval. It is a 50% vote plus 1 to seek approval. And all the funds from the local operating levy stay in the North Clackamas School District. None of those funds go to Salem to get redistributed across the state. The goal is to raise $17 million. That is the gap that we anticipate our school district is going to face next school year. And in order for us to raise that $17 million, we need to charge an additional assessment of $1.63 per $1,000 of assessed value on any property in the school district. It's important to note that it is up to $1.63. Local option levies are complex in how they're assessed on individual properties. And what we know is that about 18% of residential homeowners in the district will pay the full rate. 82% will pay a rate less than the $1.63. And you may ask, why is that? Well, a local option, in essence, taxes the difference between someone's assessed value of their property and their market rate value of their property. The greater the gap of those two numbers, the higher the tax rate will be, up to $1.63. The closer market rate is compared to the assessed rate, the less of the gap, the lower the rate will be. A local option levy does not live on forever. They're a 5-year levy, and if the school district would need to seek continuing this local option levy, they would need to do so through another election 5 years from now. So we often get asked, what does a $17 million shortfall reflect? We've given you 2 examples here. $17 million budget gap is the equivalent of 170 teachers being removed from our school system. If we were to remove 170 teachers from our school system, we anticipate that that will increase class sizes by 8 to 10 students in every classroom across the district. Another way to look at the local option and a $17 million shortfall is it's equivalent to 34 days of school. So if the levy is approved by voters, right, it would prevent cutting those teaching positions I just described. It would maintain our current class sizes, and it would ensure that we have a full school year moving forward. If the levy doesn't pass, then that tax assessment would not be made, and our school district would begin to figure out how we reduce next year's budget by about $17 million. We've built some financial accountability and transparency into our local option levy proposal. These are guaranteed or promises that we're going to keep over the life of the local option levy should it be approved. 100% of the levy funds would go to preventing cuts that I just described, restoring previous cuts that have been made in the last decade, or increasing student and staff and school safety. When we ask our parents what they would like to see restored in our school system, frequently nursing services, increase in counseling services and increases in school safety are at the top of our parents' list. We guarantee that none of the local option levy funds would go to administration, that all of the funds stay in the North Clackamas School District and none would go to the state, and that we will perform an annual audit on these local option dollars and communicate this is what we said we were going to do with these dollars, and here's what we actually did with those dollars. Those audits would be made public and would be run through our Community Budget Committee as well. So what's next? The North Clackamas School District has placed a local option levy on the November 2018 ballot. It is Measure 3-541. It's a levy to preserve teaching positions and days of the school year. We know that ballots will start being mailed out on October 17th, and those ballots must be returned by November 6th at 8 p.m. And we will know shortly after that on November 6th whether or not the levy has passed or it has not passed. You can go to our website, www.nclac.k12.or.us, and there is a link on that main webpage to our local option. When you click on that local option link, you'll find the ballot language on there. There's a question and answer section that's on there, as well as a calculator. If you're a property owner in our school district, you can type in your address, and it will show you what the estimated tax that you would pay should this local option levy pass. I want to thank you for watching this presentation, and have a great school year.